Okay, so I decided I gotta do a part 5 because that was kind of a bad place to leave off. That house that I was staying in, there were just a lot of weird things going on, and the friend that I had, I told you about how this girl, a friend of my friend who I didn't really know, came over, and she's wearing what looked like my tank top that went missing, and then she's interrogating me about my car insurance bill, which I don't know how she knew anything about that. I wasn't talking about that with my friend or anything, so I don't know how she knew. And then it seemed like she went through the contacts on my phone or something, because she was, and I can't remember what it was exactly now because this was 5 years ago, but she was naming off, I can't remember what it was, but for some reason I thought that she had somehow gone in through the contacts of my phone or something. And the other thing was she somehow knew I was pregnant before I even knew that I was pregnant. Because she asked me if I was pregnant. And at that time, I didn't know that I was yet, but I just kind of, I didn't even answer her. I just kind of didn't even say anything because it was such a weird question. She was just, boom, out of the blue, asked me that. And my friend at the time, I remember, was sitting there with their eyes shut, and I kept trying to talk to my friend, and my friend was not responding to me at all, and it was just really strange. It was like, I don't know if that person was in a trance or what, but I've never experienced anything like that with anybody. I just kept trying to talk to this person, and this person was not responding at all, not even moving or anything. It was very weird. And the other thing about this friend was that this person's personality seemed to be drastically changing, and I'm not even really sure it was just the personality, because it was also this person's facial characteristics that would slightly change each time I saw the person. I just remember, I think it happened more than once, but I just remember this one specific time that really especially freaked me out. I just remember my friend had left, and then when my friend came back, the face was slightly different, and it was so noticeable to me that I was actually really scared. I remember being terrified, actually, thinking that my friend looked different, and I couldn't figure out why. And not only that, but this friend was behaving drastically different as well. And it was just, there's a lot to that, but there's just something, I don't think I told you guys about that before, so I wanted to make sure to clarify and tell you that, because it somehow ties into all of this. And by the way, that property that I was on, that house was on, was owned by the church. And I mean, that just opens up a whole new thing, because, you know, I've talked about the house that I lived on when I was a child that was also on church property, and all the weird things that happened there. If you don't know about that, you can go back through my targeted individual playlist and watch some of my earlier videos while I talk about that. So I just wanted to say that as well, because that might be associated somehow. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention about the grocery store incident. I wanted to ask you guys, those of you that are targeted individuals, if you've ever experienced repeating conversations. Let me give you an example. So I this has happened more than one time where I'm in the grocery store checkout line and the grocery store clerk is talking to the person in line in front of me, and they're saying, and this conversation, it's the same conversation, and I've heard it before. I swear it's the same exact conversation where the grocery store clerk is saying, I'm going to try to remember this. The grocery store clerk is talking to the person that's in front of me in line, and I'm not even really listening to them at all. I'm not listening to what they say at all until the grocery store clerk says something like, and she's not even listening, or and I heard that, or something like that. And then I was listening for a second, but not really, just partially listening. And the grocery store clerk was saying something like, they're talking about me, they're in cahoots, blah, blah, blah. And I can't even remember all of it. And it just happened recently. And I wasn't going to mention it to you guys because I thought, I'm just like, that's so minor that it's not even worth me mentioning. But then I realized that same exact conversation has happened before when I'm in the grocery store checkout line. The exact same conversation, I swear. And I don't know how many times that's happened. But it's not really the kind of conversation that you should hear more than one time. The word cahoots, just to hear the grocery store checkout clerk talking to somebody, a customer, saying, they're talking about me, they must be in cahoots, and then ha ha ha, they're laughing about it. And I heard that. Oh, that was the other thing. And then she said, I heard that. And it just, I swear to you, that exact conversation was something that I heard on another occasion when I was going through the grocery store checkout line. I'm pretty sure it was the same grocery store. I'm not sure about that. I think it was the same grocery store. And it was this same exact conversation. Oh, we're in cahoots. We must be in cahoots. I heard you, or just, I wasn't really listening. Okay. That's the thing. That's why I can't remember the whole conversation, because I just wasn't even really listening to these people talk. But I did hear bits and pieces of it. And like I said, I wasn't going to say anything until I realized that I'd actually heard that conversation once before. And I wanted to ask you guys about that because I'm wondering if it has something to do with the audio spotlight. So if you don't know what the audio spotlight is, you can Google it, because I think YouTube deleted my video on it. But it's this device where a person can talk into the device and send the sound to someone some distance away, but they can send it directly to that person's ear so that nobody around them will hear it. And so what I'm wondering is if they're using this audio spotlight and it's just the same conversations over and over. So have you ever heard the same conversation from a gang stalker, or just somebody that you knew what they were saying was unusual, or if you've ever had that instance where you've heard the same exact conversation on a later occasion, that you just, it just seems like it's not real somehow. Well, the same thing also happened to me when I was on Facebook, which is another reason why I don't go on Facebook anymore, because it seemed like, and this is going to sound so weird, it seemed like it seemed like conversations were repeating over and over again. And not just between other people, but also conversations that I was having. I felt like I seem to remember that I had had those conversations before on Facebook, like a couple years ago or something. I mean, I know that sounds so bizarre, but I'm just wondering if you guys have experienced anything like that, because I'm starting to think that those of us that are targeted are, some of us at least, are almost like in these controlled environments that I think are maybe some of it is fake. Like, for example, your Facebook might be totally controlled. I've heard that I watched this news broadcast recently that said that that recently it was disclosed that Facebook had conducted experiments on people, and I just was kind of wondering, I wonder what the extent of those experiments really were, and I kind of think that, it's it would be really, really easy to keep someone in a controlled environment through a site like that, like Facebook. But the incident at the grocery store, though, I think that would have to be the audio spotlight, because they're able to, first of all, they have the voice cloning technology, which can clone anybody's voice. So if you don't know what that is, do a Google search. I have some videos on that are linked below in the description box. So that's first of all. Second of all, they have this audio spotlight that's like a sound spotlight. It can send sound to your ears so that nobody around you will hear it. And so it is possible for them to send to your ears a conversation, so that you're hearing a conversation going on that you think is somebody around you, but but it could be coming from an audio spotlight device that's just playing recorded conversations. Because, like I said, that's the only way that I could have heard a repeat conversation like that. I can't think of any other way that could happen. It's just not, it just could not have been the same literal conversation that these people were having in front of me. It had to have been. I mean, unless this person was the same grocery store clerk that it was the last time, and that I don't remember. And maybe this person is a gang stalker and they are just really trying to mess with my head. I mean, I guess that's possible. But yeah, I mean, it was the exact same conversation. So, and it wasn't even really a conversation. It was mostly just the grocery store clerk that was saying all of it. The customer was just kind of laughing along, like, okay, whatever, So I'm not sure what was going on with that, but I just wanted to let you guys know and ask you if you've had any experiences like that. So I guess I'm out of time. I know this has been a really kind of long one, but like I said, I only do these updates like maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So I hope that you guys are doing okay, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.